Hello, this video is about tonguing. Often, when we think about tonguing, how do we tongue? I think the most common thing that people say is, just say ta. And what I found striking about this is that when we tongue and we say ta, I wonder if you would agree that there's a certain amount of muscle used. And when we say the word ta, this muscle in the tongue being used, ta. And what I would say in kind of a funny way to illustrate a point, in a way I would almost advocate for tonguing as step one, take a breath in. Step two, place this floppy piece of meat, otherwise known as the tongue, to create a seal. Step three, use the air to blow the floppy piece of meat, otherwise known as the tongue, to then break the seal. And what I'm trying to say in that kind of humorous way is that I think that the tongue, if we were to say to ourselves, is tonguing tongue-driven or is it air-driven? And I guess I would advocate for being air-driven. And I guess what I would also say is, I'm not necessarily trying to put it out there that this is the only way, but it is a way. And if this sounds interesting to you, perhaps you might give it a try as well. So the ta version, the muscle version, if you will, the tongue-driven version, might be like ta. However, the air-driven version might be a little bit more like this. It's almost like a sigh. We place the tongue, we have just used just enough muscle to place the tongue and leave it there. And if anything, it's just like a sticky lemon, it's just there. And then finally the air blows it away. So here it is. Like that. And this drill that I'm going to offer is from Robert Marsteller's book, Basic Routines, the attack and tone placement. First exercise. And what I'm going to do my best at is, when I'm playing these, to focus on exactly that technique. The tongue is placed, and for the most part, my air is going to blow the tongue out of place to, first of all, create the seal and then break the seal, as opposed to trying to tongue harder using the muscle, for example. Let's see how it goes. Oftentimes, with a name like The Basics, this book, The Basic Routines, often we think about basic, intermediate, advanced, right? Do we often think, oh, the basics, oh, that's easy. Well, I would say it's the opposite. I mean, God, that exercise I just did, I know I could spend a lifetime at, getting better and better at it. And I would say actually the basics are a rather advanced skill set. And what do I mean by that? Why is it more advanced? Because I think one's ability to introspect and say, is this the sound I am going for? Is this the feeling that I'm going for? What does it feel like? What do I need to change? These are questions that can go through our minds, and I would encourage to do so as we're doing the exercise. So the first step is often, okay, just go through the motions. But I think if you were to call this an advanced skill, working on the basics, I do think it's important to introspect. I think that's what makes it more advanced, is one's ability to introspect while practicing these. It could be done with this simple tonguing exercise, or for that matter, any technical exercise. I would advocate for any one of us to be thinking to ourselves, are the basics just an easy thing that we should rush past and try to get to the more complicated stuff? I would advocate no, that the basics are excellent to work on, and it can enhance our ability to introspect the more that we do it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and good luck in your endeavors regarding your tonguing.